Hello everyone, happy Friday. Yay, it's finally Friday. And today is just a quick little vlog video of my favourite games that I used to play. A lot of the games I'm going to mention are old games from like Game Boy or PS1, but some of them will be PS4 games as well. Basically a bit of history behind all of the games. But obviously I'm going to be talking about all my favourite games I used to play from way back until now. So hopefully you enjoy this video, and some of the games I mentioned in this video you played when you played way back when you could remember. But obviously this is just a quick vlog video about what some of my favourite games. If you like this video, give this video a like, and as I say, if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe as always. And it's Friday today, and I'm so excited because Fridays are my favourite days of the whole week. And we're into the weekend, so hope everybody enjoys the Friday and they have a brilliant weekend. So I'm going to be talking about some of the old games from like way back I used to play. The first ever console game I used to play on a console was probably the Game Boy. I used to have a Game Boy back in the day, when I was probably youngish, I can't remember now. And the first ever game I played on Game Boy, it was Game Boy Advance, because that's the proper version of Rayman. It was the first ever Rayman game on Game Boy. Rayman brings so many memories back to me because it was such a brilliant game on the Game Boy. And obviously, if no one knows what Rayman is basically a character with yellow hair, and he uses his fist to punch things. And on the Game Boy version, there used to be like different music. The music used to be the same all the way through the levels, but it used to change depending on the variety of the levels. You used to collect pearls. The mission was you had to save all the little people in the cages that were trapped, and you would basically go through each level like saving all of the little people from like the Dark Destroyer person. And Rayman used to use his fists quite a lot to punch things, to go through things. Also, you had the little fishes that used to attack you on the little reefs. And I remember a lot of the times when I was playing the game, I'm not sure what level I got up to, because I kind of found it difficult. I kind of was trying to gather my thoughts with the controls because I wasn't used to the controls back in the day when I had a Game Boy. I used to have a Game Boy and played Rayman, and I used to love the game. It got very addicting as I went through each level, and as you went through each level there was like a checkpoint at the end of the level, and it would be like an exclamation mark with like a sign, and every time he'd go past he'd go yeah, like that. And it was really fun. It was probably sorry about the background noise guys, I'm getting slamming doors and shit. That's just my family and stuff in my house, so ignore that. It's quite warm here as well in the UK, so I apologise if I'm sweating. But as I was saying, yeah, the Game Boy was brilliant, and it was the first ever console I actually owned, because after that it was a PS1. It was actually quite a fun game, and if you don't know what Rayman looks like, or you don't know what the game looks like, I have an image of Rayman, the Game Boy Advance Rayman. That's what it was on the Game Boy. It was a particular Rayman. It's the first ever one I had. I know you could get there is different Raymans. And this is like what it looks like at the back, and you've got all the different levels, and you got Rayman and stuff. I don't know if anyone can see that. You just zoom in. But it was a brilliant game. It got very addicting, and you used to kill things by stomping on the reds, or you used to use your punch to punch them. And I always found it difficult to get to the. I always find it difficult getting to grips with controls on games because I'm not used to it. So it took me quite some time to get used to the controls on Rayman, and I remember just getting the Game Boy because somebody had it, and I remember playing it. And I was like, what the hell is this game? I've never played this game before. And it was Rayman. And I started playing it, and I got very addicted to it. And I used to always play it on the Game Boy every time. Because it was the only Game Boy game I had in my house. But it was brilliant. I loved it. And I miss the game completely now. Because it just brings back memories from when I used to play it. I used to die quite a lot on the game. And I was like, oh damn. I used to get fucking mad. But yeah, I really loved it, and it just memories of the actual game itself. I don't know if anyone else played the Rayman games and they have memories from it. I know there used to be different ones, but I only used to play the one on the Game Boy. I know there was the one on the PS1. There was a PS1 version, but I played the Game Boy version of it, which I don't think it's the same. I think it's the same, I'm not sure. But anyway, so yeah, that's the first ever game I played on console, and then after that, it was PS1. The first ever PlayStation game or PlayStation console I ever had was a PlayStation 1. And the first ever PlayStation game I played on that was 40 Winks. I'm not sure if anybody has heard of 40 Winks before, but I'll explain it to you and I'll show you images of it, in fact. If no one's aware of what 40 Winks is. 40 Winks is a game with two characters, a girl and a boy. One's called Rumble and the other one's called Tumble or something like that. I can't remember now. And basically you could choose which one you wanted to be on the game, and you used to travel through different worlds on the game, and you used to collect basically all of the there was these things called hoodwinks and winks, and the winks were these like little creatures that were trapped in cages that you had to catch, that you had to collect, and you had to free. And you also had the hoodwinks, who were these evil fucking ones, a bit like the Winks, who used to try and destroy her. You also had, I remember you had this, there was this, it's the beginning of the game, and you'd have this scary haunted house, and you'd collect keys throughout the game to go through different doors, and different doors would lead you to different places or different portals. And there was one with this haunted house, and there was you used to fight these big massive spiders. They were a bit like spiders from Resident Evil, the remastered one, and they used to crawl and attack you and stuff, and you used to have to hit them, and you used to instead of having a weapon, you used to either hit them with your fists, or you used to have an object to hit them with. You also used to collect tokens, and the tokens would unlock the doors. And you also had these these little helpful clocks that were called, one of them was called, they used to say, hi, my name is Clocky Walkie Talkie or something like that, whatever, Walkie Talkie. Sounds like a fucking walkie talkie, doesn't it? But they used to have these little weird names, these clocks, and they used to help you throughout the game. And also at the beginning of the loading screen when you used to play the game was this big massive portal to illustrate the fact that whenever you go through the game, you go through these portals all the time. It was the loading screen. The loading screen was brilliant on the game. It was a brilliant game. It was the first ever game I played on PS1, I think. I played it. I used to own a PS1, and I used to share it with my sisters. And I used to play 40 Winks with my sisters. I used to be able to play it. They said I could have a go and play on it because we were sharing and we was all taking turns. I remember there was also this wicked witch that you used to be in like a broom race. That if you won the broom race, you basically would go on to the next level. You'd go on to the next. If you won in the race, you'd get like a key or something like that. But if you lost, you'd have to go back to the start and you'd have to redo the race and do it all again. And I found my sisters and me always found that the witch part with the broom race really, really hard when we did it. Excuse me. I'm just gonna find the pictures for you guys because then you can know what I'm talking about. And I'm not chatting a lot of shit saying it's not real, because it is a real game. But yeah, this is the front cover of the actual PlayStation game. It is called 40 Winks, and you have play as these two little characters. One's called Rumble, the other one's called Tumble, and they're both a little girl and a boy. And there's a cutscene at the beginning of the game about the mother, who's basically saying, "Oh, you get off to bed," and she talks about the 40 Winks. She talks about the Winks being kidnapped by, you know, by the hoodwinks and stuff like that. And then obviously there's this old man who says there won't be any good dreams anymore. There'll be bad dreams. And he's like this old man who has help from this like little gremlin or something. And you just have to you're literally going on an adventure with these like little kids to basically find all the keys and find all the winks and basically save the little winks and collects the keys, and you fight monsters and stuff like that. You also race a wicked witch in one of the worlds. I think it's one of the second world. It's the second world you visit, if I'm not mistaken. But it was a brilliant game. I used to always play it on the PlayStation 1, and I really wish they'd remaster it because it's a brilliant game and I would definitely play it all over again. Just the memories of the game itself. I also remember there was a lot of games on the PS1. I remember like there was Medieval, which they're remastering hopefully soon. I don't know when. They haven't exactly said a date, but they are remastering Medieval, which was an old PS1 game, with, you know, the skeleton who doesn't speak. It goes, but yeah, that's Medieval. And also they're also remastering Spyro. I remember Spyro from the PlayStation and the old PlayStations. I remember Crash Bandicoot as well. And from the old PlayStations, there wasn't a lot of games I used to play on the PS1. I never played Silent Hill. That was one game I never played on the PlayStation, the old PlayStations. I only ever owned a PS1. I didn't own a PS2 or a PS3. And at the moment I only own a PS4. But if I could go back in time, if I could go back and play all of the games from PS2 and PS3, I would gladly love to, because there's a lot of games I missed out on playing. And I really wish they'd remaster Silent Hill, because I love the Silent Hill games. And I've never ever played them, so I'm missing out really. But yeah, those are two old games I used to play on. One was on the Game Boy and the other one was on the PS1. Obviously one of my ultimate favourite games of all time is probably from the Resident Evil franchise at the moment, and that's on PS4, which was Resident Evil Remastered, which is the first Resident Evil remake. Remastered, which is the remastered version of Resident Evil Remake. The original one was made in 1980 something, I can't remember now, and the remastered version was created in 2002, which was awesome. I'm seeing if I can find an image for you of Resident Evil Remake, but it's one of my ultimate favourite games. I love the Resident Evil franchise. It's brilliant. I think out of all, I think my favourite one would have to be Resident Evil Remake, and then my second favourite would have to be Resident Evil 4, and then it would be, I don't know what it'd be after that, but I love all of the Resident Evil games. The only Resident Evil game I don't like, and I've never tried to play, and I think everybody hates it, is Resident Evil 6. Because everyone says it's 10 times harder than any of the other ones, and I think, to be honest, after Resident Evil 5 and 6, they got a bit action based and they were a bit rubbish. They turned into like Call of Duty or something like that, and I do like Resident Evil 5. It's a lot action based, but it is fun to play with, like I say, if you have another player playing with you and you're doing the actual chapters, they are actually quite fun. And I always find like the troll bit in Resident Evil 5 on the chapters really, really fun to do with a partner, but it can get frustrating if you play it on like the hard modes, which are like veteran and professional. On Resident Evil 5, I've played it with Jeff, and I've done easy, normal, I've done amateur, normal, veteran and professional on some of the chapters on my recent one, because I have a new account on my PlayStation which I would advise no one to add me on, because it's a backup account that I use for my PS4. I used it because my other one has problems with Sony. With my other account has problems with I have problems in my Sony account on my original one. But I do play like Resident Evil 5 Mercenaries and all that. And last night I was playing Resident Evil 7, and Resident Evil 7 is a good game as well. Resident Evil 7, I've never ever played it, but the first time I ever played it was on SharePlay with Jeff. He let me play it because the game at the time was really expensive on the store until it was brought down in price, and obviously Jeff got me Resident Evil 7 for Christmas of last year, and it's the gold edition. It's got every single DLC on it and game. And the only problem I had to do was download Not a Hero, which is the new DLC. New DLCs are End of Zoe and Not a Hero, which is with Chris Redfield. And I've actually been doing a Let's Play, I have done a Let's Play on my channel of Resident Evil 7 Not a Hero. I have to say, there was a lot of people hating on Resident Evil 7 when it was about to come out. But I never doubted Resident Evil 7. I always thought it was going to be good. Looking from the demo to how it is now, it looks brilliant. But there was a lot of people doubting it, saying because it's in first person and stuff like that, it won't be as good as the other Resident Evils. But I actually disagree, because I think everybody then, as they started playing it and it came out, they sort of changed their mind about it all, because the puzzles and all of the scary element of the game is still in the game from all the other Resident Evils. And I know it may not be Resident Evil because the characters have all changed and you've got the Baker's family in it, but I have to say it's a brilliant game, and I think the same people that created Resident Evil 7 with the RE, and the fact that it's the RE engine is good as well. And they've used the RE engine in Resident Evil 2 Remake, which I can't wait to get, because it's brilliant, and I've seen the demo, I've seen the trailer, and I've seen some of the demo, and all of it is sticking to the old Resident Evil 2, but a bit revamped and a bit changed like Resident Evil Remake. I'm disappointed with the camera angles on Resident Evil 2 Remake, but I know it's going to be brilliant either way, because I don't like over the shoulder camera angles, because it's like Resident Evil 5 and Resident Evil 4, and I can't stand it because it's like you're shooting. I mean, I suppose it makes you shoot better, but I don't like over the shoulder camera angles. I like fixed camera, as long as camera angles are fixed. I like the fixed camera angles, but like not over the shoulder camera angles, but fixed camera angles, like in Resident Evil Remake at the moment. That's the kind of camera angles I like, because they seem to work with games. But it's whatever, you know. I know it's going to be still cool. But Resident Evil Remake is a brilliant game. I just loved the horror elements to the game, and the fact that you can play as Jill and Chris on the game is cool. I always think Jill is always easy to play as rather than Chris, unless you start on easy mode as Chris and then go on normal mode. That's the only way you can play as Chris, because his actual game mode is quite hard. And obviously once I'll talk about my times in Resident Evil Remake, because but I'm just going to show you the remastered version. This is a 2002. And it only shows me images of the game, which is fucking annoying, because I wanted the Resident Evil Director's Cut, which was the one that I'm on about, which was the one before, which was actually one that came out and was made into a game, but they sort of remastered it. Was on the PS1, I think. Was it the PS1? I'm not sure, but I'm sure you could actually play the Director's Cut, because I'm not used to Resident Evil Remake on the PS4, the PS4 version anyway. I'm used to the, what is it? I'm not used to the PS4 version, but I did originally, the first Resident Evil, you know, the Resident Evil version. There. I'm not used to the PS4 version of Resident Evil Remastered or Remake, because I used to play the DS version of Resident Evil, which is called Deadly Silence. And I was used to it and everything, and it's not the same, to be honest. It's different. It's kind of the same, but not, because it's different. But here's the cover of it. This is the remake cover. Let me just zoom in a bit more, because I don't think anyone can see Jill. But yeah, that's what it looks like. Obviously it looks slanted or backwards on my camera, but that's because when I watch it, when I'll actually watch it, it will be forwards for you guys. It won't be backwards. I hope not, because that'd be fucking annoying. Let me get off this. Fucking hell. I can't get off this now. The tablet. It keeps showing me the zombies. Go off. Fucking hell. But yeah, that's one of my all-time favourite games, Resident Evil Remake. Sorry I've been talking for so long. I'm probably making this video longer than it is, but these are some of my favourite games I used to play, and obviously games I'm playing at the minute. Another one of my favourite, I love, to be honest, on the PS4 lately and in general, I'm a big fan of horror games, and like the horror element of games, and also like really fun games to play on the PS4. I have two Tomb Raider games at the minute, which is the Definite Edition, which is the first one, or the second one, is it? And then I've got Tomb Raider, I've got Rise of the Tomb Raider. But another one of my favourite games from PS4 is, because it's got horror elements in it, is Layers of Fear, as you all know. I think I've spoke about this before. Is Layers of Fear, and I'm going to try and find Layers of Fear for you and read the information so you get what the game's about, because it has a backstory. But Layers of Fear is a horror game, it's full of puzzles, and it's a horror game in which you travel around a house and you do puzzles and stuff like that, and you have to work out, you basically draw, you basically paint all these paintings, and you play as an artist in the game. I'm just going to try and find the information for you so I can read it to you, because then people can get what I'm speaking about. Layers of Fear, Wikipedia. I don't know Wikipedia's. So it says here, Layers of Fear is a psychological horror video game developed and published by Blooper Team for Microsoft Windows OS X, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, which was released worldwide on February 16th of February 2016. And I'll show you the picture. It's got Layers of Fear written in blood. The developer was obviously Bleeper Team, and the publisher was SPNY, the programmer. So basically, the developers of the game is Bleeper Team, apparently. It's single player, and the release was 16th February 2016. So it's a game that was released in 2016, which was like not this year or probably the year before. And it says, in Layers of Fear, the player controls a psychological disputed painter who is trying to complete his magnum opus. And a magnum opus, you've got a magnum opus, and you've got all different kind of like sayings in painting. A magnum opus is basically a masterpiece, which basically a magnum opus is basically a painting which is like brilliant. So when someone like looks at a painting or an artist who paints a painting and someone says that's a magnum opus, it means it's a brilliantly well painted piece of art. I think anyway, that's what it means. As he navigates through a Victorian mansion, and the house is Victorian, it's very spooky, with disturbing secrets about the painter being discovered, the gameplay presented in first-person perspective is heavily story-driven and often revolves mostly around puzzle solving and exploration as the game intensifies after each level, while jump scares occur often. Layers of Fear Inheritance was released on the 2nd of August. And Layers of Fear Inheritance, which is the game I played on my Let's Plays, and I've done like streams of it. It is actually from the daughter's perspective, because obviously the daughter, you play as the daughter, the painter's daughter in Inheritance. And it says released on 2nd of August 2016. As a direct follow-up to the first game, here the player controls the painter's daughters, with the DLC focusing on her apparent relapse into trauma after returning to her old house. So basically, Layers of Fear is basically a puzzle-related game. That's why I like it, but also because it's horror-related, and there is a lot of jump scares in the actual game, because I remember playing it. And my favourite bit in the game, I know everyone's gonna laugh now, I'm gonna fucking sing it and everything now, but my favourite bit in the game, like when you're playing the Layers of Fear game, has to be when you go into the bedroom and there's this little record player that plays Jumping All Around, Jumping All Around. Ah, so funny. But it plays that, and basically you have to get it into tune of the actual like song, and it's just dead funny, because whenever I play that bit, I just start singing the song on the stream, and it's dead funny. I know everyone's gonna laugh now. But it's a brilliant game. It's one of my favourite, probably second favourite games, because it's horror related. And obviously I have one more favourite game to talk about, and then that's going to be pretty much for the video, guys, because I don't want it to be too long, because this is only supposed to be, well, it is a vlog video and I'm talking about my favourite games, but I don't want it to be too long. So obviously, since I'm a big fan of horror games, my last favourite game has to be Outlast. And the reason for that is because I've played it many times, I've streamed it many times, and it's quite funny because Ryan and Jeff have been on my Outlast streams and they've pissed themselves laughing because I'm so scared. And I actually bought the game. I've never actually played the game before. Jeff has played the game first time on PS4, and I watched him play it once. Obviously he's played the normal Outlast game, but you also have the DLC, which is called Whistleblower, which is totally different to the game. And obviously Outlast is a game in which you play as a character who travels around a mental asylum, and you have to find keys and stuff like that, and it's very psychological. It's a psychological horror like laissez-faire. If you don't know what it is, you should know what Outlast is. Everybody should know. And then obviously watch my streams back with me fucking screaming my ass off. It's a very scary game. I streamed it. First time I ever streamed it, I thought, oh, this game's gonna be really fun to play, and I'm not gonna get scared one bit. I started playing the game, and 30 minutes into the game, or 15 minutes into the game, I started freaking out and jumping out of my skin. And also there's a chainsaw guy at the beginning of the game, and he's chasing after you at the speed of light, and you have to fucking run fast as you can and get into the elevator or something before he fucking catches you and cuts you into little pieces. And also the bit that scared me in the game was you're in a mental asylum in this bit, and there's like this guy in a wheelchair who's basically laid there like fucking out of his head, and he's basically lying on the floor. So you go past the wheelchair guy, but when you go back, Jeff forgot to mention to me that the fucking guy jumps at you and grabs you and stuff like that. I'm turning into the Joker with my fucking tongue. And there was this bit in the stream that I remember, because I did stream it at first, but I had to delete the first stream I ever did of it because I was getting drama on it. And I deleted it because I got scared. I got really, really scared playing it, and I stopped playing it halfway through. And Jeff said, if this game scares you, hon, and you don't want to play it, then just don't play it. But then I started playing it again, and I wasn't getting scared. But Jeff forgot to mention to me, because there's a bit in my stream where there's this guy who's in a wheelchair, and on the way back he forgot to mention to me, he said to me, don't worry, hon, don't worry, that guy's not going to jump at you and fucking grab you and scare the living shit out of you. And I said, no, I can't go past there because he's going to get me, innit? He's going to get me. And he went, no, he's not going to get you, huh? And then as soon as I fucking walk past the fucking wheelchair guy, he fucking jumps at me. I fucking jump out my skin and bloody grabs me and starts saying, help me and everything. I'm like, oh my god. And I fucking freak out. And there's actually this mental doctor in it actually that talks to you and sort of does things. And there's also these like little chainsaw dude guys that fucking chase after you. And the bit I found very, very hard was the bit where you had to turn on the power, because I always kept dying at that bit, and I actually kept dying. But I'll obviously read a bit of the information. So it says, Outlast is a first-person survival psychological horror video game, exactly like laissez-faire. It was developed and published by Red Barrels. The game revolves around a freelance investigative journalist, Miles Upshaw, who decides to investigate a remote psychiatric hospital named Mount Massive Asylum, located deep in the mountains of Lake Country, Colorado. The downloadable content Outlast Whistleblower centers on Wayland Park, the man who led Miles there in the first place. And it says Outlast was released for Microsoft Windows on September the 4th, 2013, PlayStation on February the 4th, 2014, for Xbox One on June the 1st, 2014. All the versions, basically. Outlast received general positive reviews from critics. A sequel, Outlast 2, was released on April 25th, 2017, which is the second one of Outlast. The first Outlast. I actually enjoyed the Outlast game, the first ever Outlast game, but the second one I'm not really a big fan of. Jeff did play the second Outlast game, and he said it was a bit crap, and it's not as scary as the first one. And it's a bit like Evil Within. Evil Within was created by Shinji Mikami, the famous Shinji Mikami who created Resident Evil. I'm a bit of a brainiac with Resident Evil franchise, thanks to Jeff, because I always listen. I'm Little Miss Rayman, I listen to what he says. And Evil Within 2, Jeff played Evil Within 2, he streamed it one night, and he actually thinks, if I'm honest, Evil Within 2 is not as good as Evil Within 1. So Shinji I don't even think Shinji even made this, probably fucking made it as scary as the first one, but I think Shinji kind of destroyed Evil Within 2. Sorry, but that's what I think. I have different opinions on games, if I'm honest, but it's quite a scary game. There's a lot of night vision involved with the camcorder in dark, when you're in dark positions in Outlast. And also you still have the camcorder in Outlast 2. I'm not sure who created Outlast 2, probably the same one that could have created Outlast 1. But it's one of my favourite games. I love horror related games. I'm thinking of, well, people might hate me for doing this because I've seen Jeff play this game, and I've seen Joe, who is Nicola's other half, Nicola, who is Envy Games, who is Jeff Music Man's daughter. Her channel name's Envy Games, and her real name's Nicola. And her other half, Joe, played the game as well, and also Jeff tried to attempt to play it as well, and it was quite scary. But I'm thinking of playing Slenderman. I'm thinking of getting it on PlayStation 4 and playing Slenderman, because I really do like horror games, and I would really like to try and attempt to play Slenderman. I know Jeff will say no to me at this point and say, no, you ain't playing that game because you're going to get scared, honey. Trust me, it's the scariest game, and he chases you and everything. But I actually find it a cool game because I saw Jeff play it and I was laughing my ass off at him getting scared. And it's quite a hard game, but I do like psychological horror games and horror. I like horror films as well. Like, I'm a big fan of horror films as well, so maybe I could sort of talk a bit about my favourite films on another video at some point. But anyway, guys, that's pretty much all of my favourite games that I used to play, and the favourite games at the minute that I'm playing, or I like. Obviously, if you like this episode of if you like this vlog video of me talking about my favourite games, maybe I can do some more of these vlog videos of me talking about more of my favourite games, and maybe one about my favourite films. I might make it into an ongoing episode, who knows, because I know Jeff's been doing like his favourite games and favourite like video games and favourite films on his channel for his ASMR, so I just thought I'd do it as well. But anyway, guys, hope you all have a wonderful Friday and you enjoy your weekend. I'm sorry for talking on for a really long time. I hope I haven't bored anyone. But hopefully you all have a wonderful Tuesday, guys. And in the meantime, guys, have a fantastic day. And I will see you all, guys, very soon. Oh yeah, and also I might be streaming again tonight, as I streamed Resident Evil 7. And I would like to say a big thank you to everybody who joined my stream last night, and whoever turned up to my stream last night, like Audrey, Rain, Anthony Knights, and all the people that turned up to my stream last night. I can't remember you all, but I was busy with the game and I was talking to Jeff as well. And I thank you, a big thanks to Rain for helping me on Resident Evil 7, because it's quite a difficult game, and I had Jeff helping me and Rain. So thank you all for coming to my stream, and I should be streaming around 9:30, 10 o'clock tonight, and I might be streaming Resident Evil 7 again, or a different game, who knows. But in the meantime, guys, have a fantastic day, and I will see you all guys very soon. Goodbye.